flashy point guard of the Boston Celtics during the 50s and the 60s. Bob Cousy, could he play today? What do you think, Wes?
First of all, this is a pretty tough one because a guy like Cousy is kind of in the same category as other hoops guys that we've debated on this show before. You know, remember big man George Mikan? What did I say back then? Now, finally, we do understand. Great in his era, respected by his peers in the league, but really, could he make it in today's game? I argue no for Mikan, so guess what? Mr. Consistent over here, I'm arguing no for Cousy. Don't throw anything.
I can't believe it. Bob Cousy, one of the great ball handlers and passers in NBA history, and you're arguing no.
I'm saying yes to that. I'm arguing no. I have a plethora of reasons to do this, sir, and I'm not just being cantankerous. Would you like to hear my reason?
Yes, I'm always on board for a plethora of reasons. Go for it.
Shout out to us for use of plethora. Now, let's start here. Bob Cousy, career shooting average, 37.5. I want you to remember that. Now, granted, the NBA was a different game and shooting percentages were lower, but you look, the guy couldn't shoot well enough. That's what it all comes down to. And that slow set shot, really. Come on, dude, we live in an athletic three-point shooting world. He'd be a liability.
Wes, that slow release set shot that you so nicely demonstrated there, that's the way they shot back then. He would have a jumper just like everybody else in the league today. And did you know his nickname was the Houdini of the Hardwood? Why do you think they called him that?
Because it would take a magician to make me believe that he could do it, so what?
Come on. So what? They gave him that nickname because he was a magician on the court. The guy was a phenomenal ball handler and passer. He ran the vaunted Celtic fast break like a master conductor. Listen to what his coach, Red Auerbach, had to say about him.
If you were open, Bob Cousy will get you the ball. I don't know how, but he'd get you the ball.
Auerbach rated him as one of the top three guards at the time. Robertson, West, and Cousy.
Look, I respect Auerbach's opinion. Don't get it twisted. But, I mean, what's he going to say? He's overrated and he sucked? It's his coach. Come on, Murph.
All right, but it's not just Auerbach, right? The league put him on its 75th anniversary team, meaning they considered him one of the top 75 players of all time.
I told you I had a plethora of reasons. So, yes, great ball handler, but very average shooter. And what about defense? He was standing 6'1", 175. He has a zero chance to stop some of the bigger, stronger, more athletic guards in today's NBA.
I think you may be forgetting guys like John Stockton, 6'1", 170, Hall of Famer. Steve Nash, 6'3", 178, Hall of Famer. Cousy's the same size as those guys.
That's nice, and I'm not forgetting those two. I'm just saying in today's high-flying three-point shooting NBA, he doesn't cut it. I showed you this jumper. I repeat, not a good enough shooter and not big or strong enough to contend with today's athletes.
But Stockton and Nash were. Is that what you're saying? Farzy, can you please put up the stats on the three similarly sized point guards?
Here you go, Murph.
Thank you very much. Take a look. Nash, 14.5 points per game, 8.5 assists per game. Stockton, 13.1 points per game, 10.5 assists. Cousy, 18.4 points per game, 7.5 assists. And also, let me just add that Cousy was a good rebounding guard as well. 5.2 rebounds a game, almost double of Stockton and Nash.
I see you conveniently left out shooting percentage, for a matter of fact. Both Nash and Stockton had higher shooting percentages. Big difference in efficiency.
All right, but I also left out these very important numbers, 0 and 6. That's the number of championships Stockton and Nash won combined compared to Cousy, who won 6. Farzy, what do you think? Checkmate, right?
I can see you've done your homework, Murph, but I got to negate those championships because those Cousy championships coincided with a guy named Bill Russell. No Russell, no championship. Sorry, Cousy.
Thank you, Farzy.
Thank you, Wes, but I agree with Murph.
Thank you, Farzy.
Thank you, Murph. You got to give Bob Cousy credit. He was the guy that was the precursor to all those fancy ball handlers we see in today's game.
Bob, does it give you a certain feeling of satisfaction to know that during your professional career that you structured the game of basketball? You helped structure it the way it's played today?
Well, you know, in sports, like everything else in life, Paul, you've got to be at the right place at the right time, really. And there's been a progression in every sport. I was part of the scene, and specifically the Celtics scene in those early years when I guess the general play was more accelerated, and the fact that we featured a fast-breaking style of attack, and thank God my particular talents lent themselves to this style of play.
He could run the Celtic fast break better than anybody, and on top of all that, he was a scorer himself. So my final judgment is Bob Cousy could play today.